Hello Gemini, and welcome to your Lunar Cycle Insight video for the 4-week period beginning with the New Moon Solar Eclipse in Leo on the 11th of August and completing with the New Moon in Virgo on the 9th of September. So I am calling this Lunar Cycle the Great Unwinding because so many planets are changing direction. All of the frustration, all of the internal work that we've been doing over the eclipse retrograde period is going to start to manifest in the physical reality. All of the changes that we've been making, all of the reprogramming, we're going to start to see the work we've been doing reflected in the physical world. So we are going to begin this month with the last eclipse of the season, thank goodness, in Leo on the 11th of August, so just as the Lion's Gate closes. And this eclipse, these Leo energies, the Sun, Mercury retrograde, have all been taking place in your third house, Gemini, which is the house of Gemini, the house of the throat chakra. And Leo, of course, is that energy of authentic, creative self-expression. So the focus for you at this time, you who are the scribe, the bard, the storyteller, the weaver of words, has been upon for you making some changes in how you do express yourself through your words, through your teachings. Perhaps there has been some kind of new beginning, perhaps you felt more drawn to share yourself in more authentic and creative ways. Extra energy, extra effort going into your social media, your networking, the ways that you communicate. And the key for you, Gemini, has been learning to communicate from an authentic space, from a space that is truly you, sharing your unique soul song with the world. And, Mercury retrograding here could perhaps have brought to your attention some changes you need to make in those areas, some changes in the way that you do express and communicate. But as you start to really find that unique voice, that unique light of yours, and begin to share it, things will start to move forward and you'll be able to see new opportunities, new connections starting to come in as the lunar energies peak and as Mercury stations direct on the 19th. And perhaps for some of you there has been some issues with miscommunication. Leo, the retrograde in Leo can also bring up a lot of our need to be right. And maybe you yourself have been feeling that, or maybe you've been experiencing that from other people, and the third house really does rule over technology and the web and the internet. So there is a potential that you felt it, to be more frustrating in those areas than perhaps other signs. But in general, this feels like it's been quite a positive change for you, Gemini. There may have been, especially with that Aquarius lunar eclipse in your 9th house and Mars retrograding there may have had to be some recalibration, some change, some reprogramming of your spiritual beliefs and what you believe to be true. So perhaps, that has changed and shifted internally, and then you can begin to bring that message, that new truth through in ways that can help and support other people. So for you, Gemini, always your voice is your gift, your ability to connect with other people, your ability to see all sides of a situation is your blessing. And this is a beautiful time for you to reaffirm that and to share with the rest of us your wisdom. So a a very productive period for you, perhaps. So on the 12th of August, just after the new moon, Mars is still retrograde at this point, and he is going to shift back into your 8th house, which is where he was May time this year. He's going to go over the same degrees that he was on between the 11th and 16th of May 2018. And this is a time of us, you know, revisiting the lessons that he was trying to teach us at this point. And the 8th house, as you know, is the Scorpio house. It's the deep, dark underworld space of the birth chart that deals with the themes of death and rebirth, of change, of intimacy, of sexuality. And you've also got Saturn here at the moment, Gemini, and you have been really learning some deep lessons about commitment, really since Saturn was in Sagittarius from 2015 onwards, when he was transiting your 7th house. You've really been learning how to commit, how to use your relationships as a tool for growth, as a tool for learning, as a tool for evolution. So as Mars retrogrades back here, you know, perhaps there are some more themes that need to be cleared up. You know, perhaps you need to revisit some of your wounding around your sexuality. You need to reclaim some aspects of yourself, some of the desires that you've shut down. Perhaps there will be some more fears that come up, some more shadow work for you to do during this 2 to 3 week period where Mars kind of slips back into this section of your birth chart, before moving back into Aquarius, back into your 9th house, when he is moving direct, which will be on the 27th of August, and he will re-enter Aquarius, re-enter the 9th house on the 10th of September. So there's this little period here of relearning, and with Saturn stationing direct here as well, this could be a big theme for you this month. So the Sun will be moving into Virgo, into your 4th house, on the 23rd of August. So this is a real shift in energy. So we've been in the 3rd house, we've been in Leo, in the communication, in the connection, in the sharing, and now we are going into the 4th house, the womb space of the birth chart. And this can be a month where we feel more sensitive, we feel more internal. You know, here in the northern hemisphere, we're coming into the dark period, the autumn, as we head up to equinox. This can be a time, Gemini, when you kind of want to go within, you want to clear your home space, you want to create that sacred space, that temple within yourself and within your physical reality. It can be a time of revisiting the past, revisiting our roots. It can be a time of noticing the patterns that come down through our ancestral line, through our mother line, a time when we start to feel the need for nurture and comfort. And with the productive energy of Virgo here, maybe a time when we start to feel the need to make a change in our physical home. Perhaps we'll clear or clean and redecorate, prepare for the new energies coming in. Perhaps an actual relocation to another area might be on your, or another country might be on your mind at this time. So this is a time for you of really acknowledging that sometimes even you need solitude, Gemini. Sometimes even you need that space to come back home to yourself. And as the Sun moves into the 4th house, he will also be coming into a beautiful grand Earth trine with Saturn in your 8th and Uranus in your 12th. And this is the moment that I mentioned earlier in the video where the energies of the month really begin to shift and change. It's really like, oh, that cooling, that grounding, that soothing, that earthing after all of this kind of electrifying change. You know, now we can start to reorganize, restructure our lives to kind of fit in with the new life that we have been catapulted into. So these houses that will be illuminated by this trine are water houses. They are internal, emotional houses, Gemini. So again, it's that need to ground the healing in, ground in all of the inner work that you have been doing. You know, perhaps you need to find you need to do something tangible or physical to affect healing. Perhaps you need to go and spend time in nature. Perhaps you need to receive a healing from somebody. Earth signs deal with healing with the natural world. So perhaps homeopathy, crystals, herbs, you know, being drawn to in some way use the gifts of the earth to heal the inner world. So it's a beautiful energy, a really nice time for you, you know, slow down. Okay, so on the 26th of August, we are going to be having a full moon in Pisces. And this moon, you know, it's in the emotional water sign of Pisces, the sign of letting go, of dissolution. And this can be a real time when we're kind of washing away any energetic residue that we've picked up during eclipse season, you know, the final release. And for you, it is taking place in your 10th house of career and reputation. So perhaps, Gemini, your style of communicating, your truth has changed so much over the past few months, and particularly during the eclipse period, that you no longer feel like you fit into the vocations that used to be resonant with you. And perhaps there's something that needs to be let go of in the way that you manage your career, manage your purpose, present yourself to the world. And this moon will be opposite the sun in Virgo in your 4th house. So this can be a time of highlighting that work balance axis. So if you haven't been heeding the call to go within, haven't been heeding the call to make change, then this can be a time when that's really highlighted and you have to come back into balance. You have to give yourself the time to ground and rest, as well as, you know, do all of your creative stuff, all of your communication, all of your networking. So we will then be moving on the day after. Mars will station direct the 27th of August, and like I said, he is in that 8th house where he, you know, re-entered on the 12th of August. So he's stationing there, which makes his energy very strong. So you can expect those themes of intimacy, fear, shadow work to really be quite prominent at that time. And from that moment on, he will slowly pick up speed, like I said, coming back into your 9th house, your Aquarius ruled house, on the 10th of September, where you'll start to see the results for all of that internal work you've been doing, both clearing your fear, reworking your mental patterns. You know, perhaps you've been putting extra effort and energy into your spiritual work, into your teaching work, and now you will start to claim some kind of harvest. On the 6th of September, Saturn will also station direct. And as I mentioned earlier, Saturn is also in your 8th house at the moment. And he has been there since the 21st of December last year, and he's been retrograde here since April. And Saturn in the 8th house is a little bit of a fire walk. Saturn moving through this deep space of your birth chart can be a little bit like a storm coming and dredging up things from the bottom of the ocean, things from the bottom of your emotional ocean that you need to let go of. It can be a time when there is a lot of shedding, a lot of letting go. Perhaps there is, you know, some things that are dying in your life that you've been having to cut away, things that no longer grow corn. You've had to take the scythe of Saturn and cut it out. Perhaps you've had to, you know, receive some counselling, or, you know, doing some other form of deep inner work to heal your mind, to heal your emotions, to work through fears and blockages. So it's a time of shadow walking, and as Saturn's been retrograde, that process might have been even more intense for you. And as he begins to station, direct and move forward, again, you can start to, even though he's going to be there for a little while longer, till 2020, you will still start to see some of the benefits for the work you've been doing during this summer. So it's a real moment of internal healing for you. And of course, we've also got Jupiter and Neptune in a trine from your 6th to your 10th house this month as well. So perhaps some of this work the inner work will manifest as new opportunities, new ways to share your work with the world. And we will culminate this month with that new moon in Virgo on the 9th of September. So again, this is coming back to the 4th house, the sun and the moon coming together here, giving you a rebirth in the area of home, of inner healing, of letting go of the past, of nurturing, learning how to love and nurture and take care of yourself as you may have wished your mother would. And this is a time for you to set intentions around that healing that you wish to call forward. And, you know, like I said earlier, particularly if you are thinking of making changes in your physical location, this would certainly be a good time to set things into motion. So, interestingly, I pulled some cards for you. Well, 2 came out, because that seems to be what's happening with the readings this month. And these are from the Mythic Oracle, a deck that is filled with Greek archetypes, of course, closely intertwined with astrology, by Carissa Malado, and Michelle Lee Phelan is the artist. So these cards very much relate to that 8th house energy that I've been talking about. Eros, desire, and he looks very scorpionic there, I think. Cupid in Scorpio. Or Eros, you can actually look up the asteroid Eros in your birth chart and see where he's transiting and what he's doing, and where he is natally as well can give you some big clues into your desires. And the second card is Perseus, courage, and we can see here Medusa, the great serpent goddess, as well, in the corner of the card. So this Medusa can often be representative of our fears. You know, it's those things that we don't want to look in the eye. So perhaps there is some shadow work that you need to do around owning and claiming your desire and your sexuality and your eros. This is really a message for you to be brave as you are moving through these 8th house energies this month, Gemini. We know that Perseus, when he did defeat Medusa, he cut off her head, and out of her head emerged Pegasus, who was the bringer of inspiration. So when we face our fears, when we go into those dark places within ourselves, we are often gifted with new life, new inspiration. That is the wisdom of the snake mother. That is the wisdom of Scorpio. You know, Medusa and Scorpio very much intertwined. Alchemy, rebirth. The blood of the Medusa was also an elixir of resurrection. The goddess Athena used it to resurrect one of the other Greek mythological characters who I can't remember the name of at the moment. But it is that process of alchemy facing the fear, you know, you're not going to turn to stone. You will actually be reborn if you are courageous enough to go into that underworld space in your soul. So I hope that that has served you, Gemini, and I wish you so many abundant blessings for this lunar cycle. If you wish to connect with me further, there are the links below this video, and you can also reach out to me for readings if you would like to. I'm sending you so much love.